Okay, ma'am, sure.
Okay, are you able to hear me, Arya?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. So let's talk about tissues. So now see, first of all, let us see how tissues are made. So see, when many cells come together, then they make the tissues. So you can call tissues as a group of cells. Okay, so usually how that takes place, first of all, cells are there. Okay, so a group of cells make tissues, a group of tissues make organs. Okay, and a group of organ will make the organ system. This is how the whole organization in the body takes place. Now see, when the cell they group together and they make the tissues, you can imagine that there is some sort of division of labor. And by division of labor, I mean division of the work or division of what they perform. Okay, so every different cell in a tissue has a different function to perform. Okay, so you can say that the tissues they possess a division of labor. Now let us see some of the examples of tissues. So blood is one very common example. Then there is phloem in the case of plants, and then muscles in the case of humans and animals. These are some of the examples of tissues. Now see, phloem and xylem. These are the two important, very important tissues in the case of plants. Phloem, they are responsible for the conduction of food. Okay, so it is known as the food conducting tissue of the plants, whereas the xylem, it is responsible for the transportation of water. Okay, now Arya and Zaid, are you people able to understand up till now?
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right, now
ma'am.
see, wherever you have any difficulty, you can ask me any doubt. Okay, this goes for everyone, and you can ask me. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. Then we'll be talking about the animals. Okay, so we know that the animals are mobile, and by meaning mobile, I mean that they can move from one place to another, isn't it? So the reason why, since they are mobile, meaning they move from one place to another, this is the reason why the animals have the tissues that are living. Okay, all the tissues in the case of animals are living tissues. And by living, I mean that in that tissue, protoplasm is present. Do you people remember protoplasm from the chapter cell?
Yes, ma'am, I remember. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that protoplasm, whenever it is present, then we can call the cell as a living cell, or we can call a tissue as a living tissue. Got it? Now, if we talk about the growth of the animals, okay, now we know that after a while we will stop growing, isn't it? We do not keep growing for the rest of our life. There is a time period that comes after that we do not grow anymore. Like it is just the case of humans and also the other animals that are there, right? So because of this, we say that the growth of the animals, it is determinate and it is fixed, right? Up till a point, only the animal would grow only up till a point, and after that the growth will not take place. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Got it. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Very
ma'am.
good. Okay, now let us talk about the plants. Now we know that, have you ever seen plants moving? Has anybody seen a moving plant?
Yes. Not moving like it's waving.
Who has seen a moving plant? Arya, you have seen a moving plant?
I mean, there is a small plant. It's like when you touch it,
No, no,
it
that is
closes.
different. That
Oh,
touch me not plants are different. But have you seen like how we can move from one place to another?
no,
Have you ever seen a
no,
plant that moves from one place to another? No,
no.
that's not possible. Right? Why? Because the plants are immobile. They cannot move from one place to another. Okay. And
No.
Because of this, since they have to stay at one place, they require a lot of supportive tissues. Okay. And usually when we talk about the supportive tissues, so the supportive tissues of the plants, they are usually dead. And by dead, I mean that the protoplasm will not be present. Okay. And
Okay.
apart from that, the dead tissues, they provide mechanical and structural support. Okay, this is the reason why in the case of plants, the supportive tissues are dead, since they have to provide the support to the plant. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now talking about the growth of the plant. So the growth of the plant is it's not determinate, right? The plants, you might have seen that the plants always keep on growing. You might have seen that the height of the tree is so tall, isn't it? So the height or the growth of the plant, it is not fixed and it is indeterminate. Okay, it is just the opposite of the animals. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes,
Any doubts up till now?
yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. Now let us talk about the plant tissues. Now, up till now, is everything clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us move on to the plant tissues. Now see, the plant tissues are of two types. The first type is the meristematic tissue. The second type is the permanent tissue. Now, talking about the meristematic tissues, so these are the tissues that are actively dividing. Okay, they are always dividing. Got it? So, those type of tissues that are present at the growing areas, first of all, and they are actively dividing. These type of tissues, they are known as meristematic tissues. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
now this meristematic tissue is of three types. What are the three types? The first one is apical meristem, the second one is intercalary meristem, and the third one is lateral meristem. Okay, these are the three types of meristematic tissues. Now see, apical meristem, it is present at the apex. Apex, you people understand what is the meaning of apex? Does anybody know the meaning of apex?
The point, like a tip.
Hmm, which is actually the apical point, the tip point. Very good. So that is the apex. So basically, at the tip of the stem or the apex of the stem and the root, where is the apical meristem present? It is present at the tip of the stem and the root. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what is the function of apical meristem? So basically, the apical meristem, it increases the length of the stem and the root. Why? Because it is actively dividing. Clear? So this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
of the apical meristem. Now, the second type of meristematic tissue is the intercalary meristem. The intercalary meristem is present at the two nodes. And what is node? So node is that point of the flower from which the leaves arise. Okay. So the intercalary meristem is present at the two nodes. Now, coming on to the third and the last type of meristematic tissue, that is the lateral meristem. Okay, and the example of lateral meristem is the cambium. See, lateral means with respect to position, isn't it? Lateral means side position, the side. Okay, the side of the plant's body, that is the lateral meristem. Okay, so the lateral position has the lateral meristem, and one example of lateral meristem is cambium. Okay, now let us see what is the function of lateral meristem. So lateral meristem, it increases the girth of the stem or the root. And by girth, I mean that it increases the breadth or the thickness of the stem or the root. Okay, meaning like how apical meristem is supposed to make the plant grow this way, right? Upwards. And this lateral meristem is supposed to grow the plants side by side, meaning thickness. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any doubts? Anybody has any doubts?
No,
No,
mom.
ma'am.
Okay. Now for those new students, you can quickly note it down and tell me when you're done. Okay. Arya and Zed, you can note it down.
Done.
Then,
Yes, mom.
okay, Zed, are you also noting it down?
Done, mom.
Okay. You're also done? Sayed
Yes,
Zed?
ma'am.
Okay, very good. Rima, you can switch off your video. It's okay. Are you people done?
Yes, ma'am.
Both of you? See, you people can respond after you're done so that I can scroll the screen for you, okay? And not waste time. Okay? So after you, as soon as you're done, you just say that done, ma'am. Okay? So that I don't even keep, asking you like every single time. All right. You can note it in this form also. You can note it according to how you make your notes.
Ma'am, what's a cambium?
See, cambium is an example. It is a tissue. Okay, it is a lateral meristem only. It is that type of tissue which is present at the lateral, or you can say the side portion of the plant. Okay, and it is responsible for increasing the breadth of the plant. So it is a name of the tissue. Okay, the type is lateral meristem, and under the lateral meristem, the name of the tissue is cambium. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, what's the second meristematum?
The second one is intercalary.
Okay.
INTER, intercalary. CALARY.
Ma'am, what did you write of the function of lateral meristematum? What is the word?
The function of this thing is to
No, like,
increase the girth.
oh, okay.
GIRTH. 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 And see, here I've written breadth or thickness. This is just to tell you what girth means.
Ma'am,
Yes?
I'm not able to understand the difference between simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue.
Okay, when we will get to it, I will explain it to you. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, it's good. It's like a benefit to all those students who have already had this class with me, isn't it? You people are
Yes.
getting a revision class.
Yes.
Okay. Let's wait till we come to the topic and then I'll explain, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Are you people done noting it down?
Almost, mom.
Okay, okay. Done?
Yes, mom.
Okay. Now let's talk about the characteristics of meristematic tissue. Okay. Now let's see what are the fun things about it. Okay. Now see the meristematic tissues, they are very active. And active, what do you think they are active in? What do you think, Arya? They are active in what?
Movement,
Not movement.
like the air
Division.
movement.
Division.
Oh,
Okay, they are
okay.
active in division. They divide a lot. Anywhere meristematic tissue is present, they keep on dividing. Okay, so they are very active. They have a very dense cytoplasm. Arya and Zed, do you know what is a cytoplasm?
Yes, mom.
Can you explain it to me quickly?
A cytoplasm is a cell original. It has all the other cellular components or originals like nucleus, Golgi apparatus,
Organelles,
etc.
right? Organelles. Those are known as organelles, right?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Okay. Now, see, the cytoplasm is the arena of all the activities that occur in the cell. So, the cytoplasm of the meristematic tissues, it is a very dense cytoplasm. Okay. Now, everyone must know that the plants, they have a cell wall, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
the meristematic tissues, they have a thin cellulose wall, meaning a wall which is made up of cellulose. Okay. Now, they have a prominent nuclei. Now, what I mean by prominent is that the nuclei is big enough to be easily visible. Okay. Under a microscope, you can easily see a nuclei of the meristematic tissue. Now, the meristematic tissues, they lack vacuoles. Vacuoles are not present in them. Okay. Vacuoles are completely absent in the case of this thing, meristematic tissue. So these are the following characteristics of meristematic tissues. Now, we saw that there are like the plant tissues are of two types. One is the meristematic tissue and other is the permanent tissue. So now let us talk about the permanent tissues. Now see, as I told you that the meristematic tissues, they always keep on dividing. Okay, they are constantly dividing, but after a while, there are some tissues that lose the ability to divide. Okay, the tissues that cannot divide anymore, they are known as the permanent tissue. Okay, now they have like the cell division or the division does not take place at all. So those type of tissues will be known as the permanent tissues. Okay, and when a tissue becomes a permanent tissue, it only performs a specific role. Okay, so you can imagine it like it is getting modified. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm?
ma'am.
Okay. So the permanent tissues, the tissues which have lost the ability to divide, are known as the permanent tissues. They have a specific role to perform. Okay. Now, whenever a cell becomes a permanent tissue, okay, whenever a tissue takes a permanent shape, a permanent size, and a permanent function, then this whole process is known as differentiation. The whole process wherein a cell becomes a permanent cell. That process is known as differentiation. Okay, and by this process of differentiation, it leads to the formation of different types of permanent tissue. Okay, so when we talk about the types of permanent tissues, they are formed by the differentiation. So let us see what are the types of permanent tissues. So the permanent tissues can be simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. Okay, simple permanent tissues, like the name suggests, they are very simple. Very simple how? That they will contain only one type of cell. See, I've given a diagram as an example. Let's just take it again. So for example, if this is a tissue, okay, and the cells are present like this, okay.
Okay.
There is another tissue, the cells are present like this, okay. Now, can you people, so this question is for Arya and Sayed Zaid. Can you tell me the difference between these two scenarios?
The simple one, the first one is simple. Simple permanent tissue as it only has one type of cell. The other
Hmm.
one is complex permanent tissue as it has more than one type of cell.
Correctly. Yes, that's right. So the reason why I explain that is because in the case of simple permanent tissues, all the cells will be of one type. Okay, it will be of one shape and one type. Talking about the complex permanent tissues, so they will be more than one type of cells would be present in the complex permanent tissues. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Now, talking about this simple permanent tissues, so let us see where are they present. So first of all, if they are present beneath the epidermis, the epidermis is the outermost layer of the plant's body. Okay, the outermost layer. So that outermost layer is known as the epidermis, and whatever tissue is present beneath the epidermis is the simple permanent tissue, and the example of that is parenchyma. Okay. Now, talking about what is parenchyma like. So parenchyma, they have thin cell walls. They are living cells, meaning protoplasm is present. Okay, they have loosely arranged cells. Okay, their cells are not compact, they are loose arranged. Okay, loosely arranged. Now, since the cells are not compact and they are loosely arranged, so spaces will be present in between all the cells. So that space is intercellular space, and that will be present in the case of parenchyma. Now, what is the function of parenchyma? It is to store the food. Okay, food storage is the function of parenchyma. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let us see some of the modification of parenchyma. What is the meaning of modification? Hmm? What is the meaning of modification?
Like
Uh,
maybe different
the
size.
Yeah, they like some sort of addition or subtraction to it is happening, isn't it? It is being modified. Yes. So when the parenchyma, it contains a green pigment that is known as the chlorophyll. Okay, so it is known as a chlorenchyma, meaning chlorophyll containing parenchyma is known as the chlorenchyma. Now, in the case of aquatic plants, the plants that live in water, large air spaces are present in the parenchyma. Now, instead of the green pigment, they have air spaces. And because of that, it is known as aerenchyma. Okay, these aerenchyma and chlorenchyma, these are the, you can say, modification of the parenchyma. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
very good. Now you people can note it down.
Mom, if the meristematic tissues, they lack vacuoles, where do they store food and like excrete food and stuff?
See, basically, they do not have to store anything. The reason being because they are like dividing at a very quick rate. Their only function is to increase the number of cells in the plant's body. That is why they do not require any storage purposes.
Okay, mom. Also, mom, I have my exams in January.
Your exams are in January.
Yes, 10 marks MCQ and 10 marks written. Not
Okay,
only of bio, but like all science together. 10 marks written, 10 marks MCQ.
okay. So your exams are in January.
Yes, for bio, it's tissues.
Only tissues is coming.
Yes, because it's only a 20-mark exam.
Okay, okay. All right. And Sayed Zaid, your exam is on 17th December, right? Are you there in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Your exam is on 17th December, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, we will be able to, actually complete this particular chapter for both of yours, like exams. Are you people done noting it up till now?
Yes, mom.
Both of you? Well, you should also respond at least so that I'll know that you're done noting it down.
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Arya, are you also done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Done?
Yes, ma'am. Mom, can you scroll down more till the aquatic one? Okay, thanks.